What we see when we get data from these folks is that very often, I know you get my deliveries on time, I like your customer service people, but I'm not seeing the end benefits, the profitability increases and things like that that many companies, many distribution companies are creating, but their clients aren't seeing it. And so if we can feed back to them, okay, this problem existed and here's how we solved it for you, and we can really track out what the implications of that are, then we can start to hammer into that. And that really is a challenge for a lot of businesses because people can see the direct impacts, but they have a harder time seeing the indirect impacts. So the more we can begin to document things and really start to lay out, oh, well, this is what could have happened and this is what did happen. And so we can really begin to show them how we are making an impact for them. That's incredibly important. And if you can take that a step farther and begin to say to them, well, gosh, if we hadn't gotten it out on this truck within 2 hours, what would have been the cost of that to your company? Then you can start to get them to think through the way you really are making an impact on their business.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Well, and the other part of the feedback that you have to have is you have to know what their expectations are. And many of these companies don't. And you're exactly right. You mentioned that some people's expectations are unreasonable. Well, if that's the case, you need to know it and you need to know who they are so you can manage those expectations up front to try to create a situation where you avoid these problems.
Yeah, I agree with that. So for good management by exception practices, you'd always want to make sure that you're putting your energy into solving things that recur regularly before you put in the things that hardly ever happen.
Absolutely. And our perceptions internally of how frequently things transpire aren't always the same as the hard data, particularly if you've got a customer who's reacting really strongly.
Yes.
It may be something that's an unusual event, but it becomes salient to you because the customer reacted so strongly. That's where we need data to combat our perceptions.
Yeah, that's a good point.